Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Friends You Can Keep podcast. We are back from our 2-week Easter siesta.
Spring break.
Sure, we'll call it that. I have some things written down that I've heard out in the world or observed out in the world to talk about. And some of them I wrote down a while ago, so I don't remember exactly what the context was.
Oh, good.
Well, just this one. Because the rest of them had a bit more in-depth notes. This was a Preston and Steve conversation. I forget what the beginning conversation was. It was something with, like, going to the bathroom in front of your partner or being pee-shy or something. I forget what the exact context was. But this woman called in and shared that she cannot poop. I guess go to the bathroom in general, but she specified she cannot poop with the door shut.
Yes, you can.
And it's something about, like, needing the exit or whatever. She didn't say it, and I think they asked her, and she still didn't say it. It has to be some sort of claustrophobia. I don't know what other excuse you could have for not being...
But then, like, that's not the only thing you can't do. But
they were asking her, like, specific examples, and she was like, oh, well, whatever. Because they asked her, like, what if people were at your house? And she goes, oh, we have a bathroom in our bedroom, and we have a first-floor bathroom. But she didn't specify that she uses the bathroom in their bedroom. And I thought, let me tell you something. Whatever. If it's that your thing that you can't poop with the door shut, that's your thing. And whatever.
But, like, how often did it really come up that people are around?
Well, also, again, she specified poop. So maybe she's peeing as well. I don't know. But we'll just say going to the bathroom in general then. If your whole thing is you can't go to the bathroom with the door shut, let me tell you, you've got a bathroom in your bedroom and a bathroom on your first floor. If I'm over to your house for a party and I walk into a room and walk past a door where you are just sitting going to the bathroom with the door wide open...
Yeah.
Not only will I not come to your house again, I'm confident I won't talk to you ever again. Because I will not get over that.
It's just a weird... like, you need to see someone for that. Because that's not...
Oh, definitely.
Like, something else, something bigger is happening.
Well, and I thought, too, like... So then what's your life like? Because can you not use a public bathroom?
Right.
Because I would think... If you can't poop or pee with the door shut, if you're in a public bathroom, that stall's going to be wide open. Because that's even tighter than a regular bathroom, like a home bathroom.
Unless because that's not really a door. It's like a stall.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe it has. Because, like, a lot of times those weird, like, phobia
things.
They do have weird parameters where, like...
I don't know.
It's a physical doorknob door. A public bathroom with a stall door doesn't count because you can see above and below and, like, it's different. Yeah,
I can see that. This was a comment. I think I shared it with you already. I forget if it was on TikTok or Threads or where it was. A post about RFK Jr. where someone commented that, and I wrote it down because I thought it was a hysterical description of him. RFK Jr. sounds like his body is full of pop rocks and they're trying to escape.
Yeah, you did.
That's very funny. It's also a perfect description of what that man's voice sounds like.
It's so gruff.
What else do I have? Oh, I got a spam email the other day from Social Security. The email address that it came from, at elizabethchocolatier.be.
What?
That was a new one.
What? Her email address... Oh, like some bullshit at?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Chocolatier?
elizabethchocolatier.be.
What even would be B-E?
Let's see if it says. I don't know. What is .be domain? The country code top level domain for Belgium.
Wow.
So a Belgian chocolatier emailed me about my American Social Security.
But what was the front part before
I don't
the ad?
remember.
Oh. Probably just like Social Security mail.
There might not have been a front. It might have been like all that nonsense, and it could have just said like at her thing, almost like it was a handle.
Oh, weird.
I don't remember, so I didn't write it down, and I feel like I would have.
Don't come over here, bug. Ah! Oh, it's a fly. No, it's a bee?
I think it's a stink bug.
Is it?
I think
Landed
so.
on the light. He just was kind of dive bombing this
It's
way.
probably a stink bug.
It's really buzzy. Oh, no, I'm blind.
Yeah, we're real bad right now. If you hear background noise, that's our neighbors, because I cannot close the window because it's so humid here. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's 90 degrees, which isn't really right. It's like 78.
Allergies are going wild for everybody.
We're really hoping a thunderstorm.
We need something. Something.
It keeps pushing off.
Bad.
It was supposed to thunderstorm at 7 o'clock.
Well, it was just a storm at 3, and then it got pushed and pushed and pushed.
So we could potentially have a mid... Yeah, 10 p.m. It just keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah. Which means it won't happen.
Well, it is at 99% chance, though, at 10 p.m.
So I wrote this one down, what the dialogue was. This was the weirdest one I got. I got a couple of them. I've gotten consistently weird ads for Blue Chew. And when I tell you they're weird, I mean like everything about them is weird. The one I saw the other day was not an ad.
Is it ED medicine?
Yeah, it's a Blue Chew is. It's Viagra and a lot of other stuff. Which like I get it. I'm the demographic for it.
The commercial I saw made it seem like it was one of those like.
But like when I hit not interested, I don't want any of them. Not just this specific one. I don't want any of them. But
they don't care. They're like, "Are you sure you don't want to see this?"
I got one, I think, on TikTok that was not an ad. It was a person posting it.
Yeah.
And it was clearly an ad, but it didn't even say, like,
ad.
Sponsored content. Like, nothing. And I'm like, this is weird. Either you did this and you're, like, trying real hard to get an ad, or this is an ad and you're going to get, like...
undisclosed.
Undisclosed or whatever because you didn't put all the stuff in it. But the premise was that it was her and her boyfriend were going to dinner with her parents, and he took a Blue Chew before going to dinner. And the caption it had above it, when they were like at their house, says, "My dad kept roasting my boyfriend for taking a Blue Chew before dinner." And then it shows them cut to them in the restaurant. The guy is holding the menu like someone in a movie about high schoolers, like holding the books over his erect penis. And I'm like, this is real stupid. Then she like shows that, pans the camera to the dad, who goes very clearly. What was so funny about it was the clear, like, what he was telling you was written, and he read it and memorized.
Yeah.
Because it's so robotic. But he's like, got the menu open. He's looking right at the camera. Menu's open. Like, I was thinking about getting the shrimp, but it looks like Dave already brought it, or some like bullshit like that. But it was so like, I just read this 10 minutes ago.
Ew.
And I'm like, first of all, that's not. Yes, that is roasting, but also gross.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking gross.
That's.
And the whole ad was gross. I'm like, what are we doing here? But the first one I got that really just blew my mind on, like, what are you advertising for? So it comes in with a guy. The video is just the guy, like, holding the packet up that's got the pills in it. Because it almost looks like a condom wrapper that has pills in it. And it says Blue Chew on it. And the audio that comes over it, when I pull up to the occasion with my secret ingredient, he then walks out. Well, then hard cut. There's never a transition. It's always a hard cut.
Yeah.
Hard cut to him walking up to the driver's side of a Jeep, and there's a woman who I'm assuming is his girlfriend, wife, what they don't specify, sitting in the driver's seat. He then says to her, I got something for you, followed immediately by, what is your favorite thing in the whole world? That's the exact question. What is your favorite thing in the whole world? There is clearly like an edit cut there, and then she goes like, Blue Chew? And he says like that she is correct, and she freaks the fuck out. And I'm like, why in the world would your ad be you asking your partner, what is your favorite thing in the whole world? And their answer is your dick pills. Like,
that's why I thought the ad that I saw, because there was no sound. It was like on, like it just came across, like when you're just like scrolling, and I didn't watch it. But it's weird, one, that I got it. And two, I thought it was like, because they make these like aphrodisiac chocolates or something.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I thought it was something like that, because they were.
I got a weird one with that too.
They were insinuating that the woman was taking them.
Yes.
Because like she had it, she had the packet, or she was like holding it.
Did you get the same one I got where they're fighting?
The chocolates?
Yeah.
No, this was.
They look like triangle pieces.
This was the Blue Chew.
They look like Toblerone pieces, but they're in like a Hershey bar style. It's very strange. Oh, that was a Blue Chew ad?
Yeah.
What I got was the chocolates. This was, again, not an ad, just a random like TikTok video. And I'm like, are you trying? What's happening right now?
But that's how all the ads are.
Are you guys... No, it usually says like sponsored content.
But like their reactions.
That's why I'm like...
Where it's like over the top. It's like no one reacts this way to
But this wasn't even a reaction thing. It was just like flat out... Which I guess... But she didn't... I don't think she named the product. But she put up... Like, when you and your boyfriend get in a fight, but you don't want to be the one to fold first, I think was what the caption said. And then it shows her, like, coming down the steps, going to clearly, like, an island. It is a scent bug. Going to an island in their kitchen that has the chocolate on it. People roasted the shit out of her for this. She goes over and opens it, and it's, like, in plastic paper. You gotta break the piece off. She eats it. She then it comes back out, and it's like, that's all you're seeing on camera. Now you cut back out to the camera that's like mounted on the mantle or whatever. You see her walk back up the steps. Her boyfriend like turns and looks, gets up, walks over, clearly takes one for himself. They don't like cut to him doing it. You just see from the camera. Takes one himself and goes upstairs. A lot of the comments are like I kind of was at first, where they're like, I don't know. Because like I said, this is where I understand that it wasn't an ad. Because it does not tell you what the product is. Does not tell you what the product does. For all I knew, it was just a chocolate bar. So a lot of the comments are like, what am I missing here?
Right.
Like, I don't...
Is the solution in the room with us?
That's what everybody's like, I don't understand what happened. But a lot of people were like, girl, did you put the fucking microphone in the chocolate bar? Because when she's opening that plastic, it is loud as shit. Like, it's so aggressive.
It's supposed to be like ASMR, but failed because like usually ASMR is like an isolated.
But then sound. a lot of people were commenting, I think, giving her too much credit of like, you missed the joke because.
Oh,
she didn't want to be the one to fold first.
So she loud, but she did.
No, a lot of people were like, the joke is that
she was loudly opening that so he would hear it.
Well, yeah, I think her literal point with the post was she loudly opened it so that then he would know, and then he would come upstairs and he would initiate. And then technically he's the one who like apologizes first. But a lot of people were also like, the joke was that she literally folded first. Because she got folded, was the joke people were trying to make in the comments. And I'm like, I think y'all are trying too hard in this one.
Yeah, that's not what she was going for.
But either way, I'm like, this was so dumb. And I, again, not interested. Thanks.
The chocolate things, or like the pills, or what, not the Blue Chew style pills, because I understand what that is. That's medicine and that's different. Yeah. But like the non-medicine, although does Blue Chew come from a doctor?
I think it works.
Is it an herbal supplement?
No, I think it kind of works the same way like Hims
and
does.
Hers, yeah.
Where like you go online and there's their doctors and you do whatever assessment and they send you your Blue Chew. I think it's just dick pills, but Hims does like all the hair care.
Yeah, there's hers.
The dick pills and the hair pills and the...
There's weight loss.
Weight loss.
You can get like the GLP ones, yeah. But like the chocolates,
not sponsored, but they could be.
What is it?
I don't know.
Like, I understand what an aphrodisiac is, but like there's really nothing that says... Lemons also. There's tons of them.
Tons of them.
But like natural ones are different.
I feel like chocolate in general is supposed to be like dark chocolate.
But like, does it really do anything? Like, I think it's one of those things where like it may.
Do any of them do anything?
But then like the natural ones,
who's wolfing down oysters? Like, man, I am horny as shit.
No,
right
I think
now.
it's like because there's something like in the pheromones of that product, and
it's
then
like
yours,
watching your partner just like slurp things
boogers,
out of that.
like just literally eat boogers. Yeah. If you ate an oyster in front of me, I'd probably throw up.
I've never had oysters.
I don't want to.
Clams or anything of that nature.
I've had fried clams. I'm not eating a booger out of a thing that may or may not contain sand. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's not for me. If you like them, great. I know that they are a delicacy.
It's also one of those things of like that Blue Chew ad, the comments. I wanted to see like, does anyone else think this is super fucking cringe?
Everyone does.
Well, the comments didn't reflect that. The comments were, and I'm like, this is why people hate
because
so many people.
They're paid.
So the guy in the video looks like he's maybe my age.
Okay.
There was 6 comments total, 5. 3 of them. You look a little young to have ED.
Well,
aren't you a little young to need pills to get your dick hard? And I'm like,
people take it recreationally.
Well, I'm like, number one, there are dudes that take it because it helps with your stamina as well.
And like longevity, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, like,
you can. There's 1,000 reasons.
Do you know how many ads there are for ED where they're like, you can get ED at literally any point in your life?
But it can
because it can be caused by
medication.
So many different medications you're taking, medical problems you're having, depression, like mental, like there's so many litany of list of things. Yes. There's a litany of things that can cause ED,
and it can be like. I guess Viagra was initially marketed towards older men because, like, as you age, your blood flow decreases.
It's also one of those things of, like...
it's always been in your mind. It's always been, like, an older man's problem because, like, it comes with
according
age.
to RFK, men in 2025 have super low testosterone. He said something the other day, like,
I mean, I guess it's possible.
A 68-year-old man in 2025 has more testosterone than a 13-year-old boy does in America in 2025.
Is it because of all the antibiotics or because everyone's eating soy and that's just estrogen?
I have no idea. I don't really care. I don't believe anything that man says. So,
well, I mean, it's possible.
Like we talked about at Walmart today. I saw a TikTok that why it was suggested to me, I don't know. But it was a question of why was questioning Dr. Fauci like a crime? And why is questioning RFK Jr. so accepted? And I'm like, my whole thing, a lot of people were commenting, well, maybe it's the doctor in front of his name. But my whole thing was, RFK Jr. doesn't know what autism is.
He doesn't know what a lot of things are.
So, bare minimum, maybe I'm not going to take medical advice from a former heroin addict with a brain worm who doesn't know what autism is.
It was not a crime to question Dr. Fauci.
Well, that's what the right tells you.
But like
it was never you weren't going to be arrested, but the left was going to crucify you for it.
But like you could intelligently question the same as you can any medical things that are out there. Sometimes
you could question the vaccine. It didn't make sense for you to then tell people to drink bleach or inject bleach and take horse medication.
Right, like. You can question, or you can say, like, I understand that maybe this way works, but, like, I live a more holistic life, so I'm gonna just stick with this way. Fine. But, like, that's not what you were doing. You were just telling him that, like, you can't put that in my body.
To use the COVID example, you had Trump telling people to inject bleach, people like Joe Rogan telling you to take horse pills, and then RFK Jr. was just saying, don't get vaccinated because vaccines cause depression, vaccines make you gay. was something he said at one point. Vaccines. I'm pretty sure he's also one of those, like, vaccines cause autism, even though he doesn't know what that is. Because according to him, people with autism are bedridden invalids who can't.
Yeah, like I really think he thinks it's something else.
Can't play baseball, can't pay taxes.
Can't use the bathroom.
Can't use the bathroom by yourself. You might as well just kill yourself, like according to him.
It really makes sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's horrifying.
Yes, there are people who have autism who have severe problems.
I got another one this afternoon and I blocked that account, as you should. I blocked this other account I got this afternoon, which was, I've never heard a good argument for abortion. That's all it was. And I'm like, for what? Why put this on TikTok?
Well, so the
top comment was probably because it could save the mother's life.
Right.
And I'm like,
but like,
because I'm like, this post is 100%. You were only thinking of the word abortion in terms of, I don't want this baby.
Yes.
Get it out of me.
Right.
You're not thinking in terms of miscarriage and like the whole
an ectopic pregnancy,
the whole list of other things that an abortion could be used for.
Right.
You're thinking in the very simple conservative.
The baby is essentially not viable.
You're also probably one of the people who believed the statement that like people in California could have an abortion 6 weeks post, or whatever the time was post birth.
A long time ago, like, I heard someone say that like in terms of like, you're not pro abort. It's not this like
you're pro birth.
It's not this like anti-choice and like, because they were always like pro-life. It's like, I'm not anti-life and I'm not really pro-abortion.
Yeah.
And the point was like, someone wants an abortion the way someone wants to chew off their own arm. Yeah. It's something that is done not out necessarily desperation, but it's not your like, it's not as cavalier as you're making it seem.
Are there women that get it done?
Yes.
Like, at the drop of a hat? Sure.
What they like to...
But legitimately, what are the numbers?
Right. Pro-lifers like to say that progressive women use abortion as birth control.
Yeah.
Which, that's not... I don't think that's what's happening. I think in most cases, it's the last resort.
Yeah.
It's I don't have any other options here.
Yeah.
Or, this is the safest option for...
My favorite things are there are people who I follow on TikTok that I started following them because they were going to there are these like comedian type people who go to Trump rallies, they go to the anti-abortion rallies, whatever, and then they're just like some of them are more just like conversationalist and some of them are flat out like, there's a camera here, I have a microphone, like we're doing interviews, Daily Show style, like news style interviews. And one of them is that there's a whole line of old white women, like, oh, abortion's bad, oh, the Bible, Jesus, oh, the kids. And they're like, how many kids do you have? And they say whatever, and like, how many of them are adopted? Oh, well, none of them. Because I think they had a sign about adoption. Mm-hmm. And then he was just asking every single one of them, like, well, how many children have you adopted? Well, I haven't adopted any myself, but... And it's like, yeah. So... Like, your argument is so stupid the whole thing of like, we could just put that child up for adoption.
But the problem is that yes, in a situation where you find yourself pregnant and you don't want to be, you didn't want a baby, but everything else is fine. Yeah. You could have this baby. Like, I think that's a small percentage. Like, I can't put this baby up for adoption because it's an ectopic pregnancy and no one is living through that.
Yeah.
Or, like, it's not, in other ways, it's not viable. Or, I can't put this baby up for adoption because when we go to deliver, we're both going to die. Or this baby's going to be stillborn or something. It's like, that's not... Yeah. You're failing to see... It's also used if you have an incomplete miscarriage.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of other...
There's a lot of factors.
Like, that procedure, a D&C or a D&E, it does a lot more than just that.
The only factors that matter, though, are that I'm pro-life, quote-unquote, and number two, the Lord says that abortion is wrong. It says it in the Bible.
Where?
You're asking the wrong person. You
Where?
gotta ask them. I don't know that information.
I'm asking me, and I'm telling you, it ain't in there.
I don't know.
It's not in there. I mean...
That's what Christian nationalists believe. That's the country we live in now.
You can...
Our religion,
I'm sure...
Our religion of choice in America is Christian nationalism.
Yeah, it's not... It's a far cry from anything, really.
There's great stories in both books.
So which are you? You really do have to pick one, you know.
There was something else I was going to say and I forget what it was.
Let's get a whiff of brownies. Do you smell it?
No.
Oh, maybe it's the candle. Probably. From the fan.
I had saved... This goes into our whole conversation of, like, toxicity and toxic masculinity nonsense. So, there's now a whole, like... It's not really a controversy. I don't know what to call it. BuzzFeed shared it.
Ugh.
So,
BuzzFeed.
you know Ollie Murs, the singer?
No.
You probably do. Let me look up what songs he sang. Because one of them was a
new?
big hit. No, he's...
No. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Dance With Me Tonight, Troublemaker featuring Flow Rider, Heart Skips a Beat. I'll play him after, because you would know him to hear him.
Sure, maybe.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
It better. Oh, I hear it.
I hear thunder. There was lightning like real far out a couple seconds ago. So this is his before and after.
Okay.
Of him working out.
That's fine.
You can look this up yourself.
You do you. He's like a right...
So it got shared originally by his trainer, his nutritionist, sorry.
Okay.
His trainer.
Okay. He's just... he's a moderately shredded guy. And then a very shredded guy.
And then this guy on Twitter, Costello William, posted the poll 2 days later asking his followers, do you think he looks better before or after? And then, are you male or female? Just under 5,000 people voted. 3 days after that, another ex-user, Just Alex Oki, went viral when he shared his disbelief that most women who had voted said they preferred Ollie's body in the before picture. So for reference...
It's the dad bod phenomenon.
27% of women voted before. 7% voted after. But here's my kicker. Because immediately... Men are like, why are you lying about this? Why are women lying about this? For what is the reason that women are lying about this poll? Because we all know you prefer the after.
You do not.
But here's the kicker for me. So men are losing their shit about women are lying in this poll. That they prefer him in like his Marvel Cinematic Universe super shredded body and not his like average looking guy body.
He's not fat by any means. He doesn't have like a six-pack, but...
Here's the kicker. 24% of men said before. 43% of men said after.
Because that's what men want to look like.
And then... Yeah. The second user wrote, why are women lying about this? Like, what's the actual cause? In a tweet that has since been seen more than 86 million times. So
it's not lying.
Part, blah, 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 referencing everything else. One of the most popular quote tweets is from a woman and reads, we're not lying. Men cater to the male gaze more often than they realize. G-A-Z-E for gays, not G-A-Y-S. I just read it as like, it's hilarious to me the amount of dudes that still to this day get so angry and upset if there's even a whiff of people thinking they're gay. And meanwhile, there's a poll like this up, and women are like, I prefer the before picture. And you're like, why are you lying about this? He looks so much better in that one. Like, look how hot he is. What's wrong with you?
Do you know why, though? Because the guy on the left is going to be a lot nicer to you than the guy on the right.
Yeah.
Because they like something with not always. Obviously,
I'm begging men to understand that we aren't lying. Another viral response.
It's because the guy on the right, the guy on the left, is a normal guy. Maybe he goes to the gym, and that's fine. But the guy on the right is eating nothing but like spinach and protein shakes. And then when I come home and have anything, it'd be like, oh, it must be nice to eat like that. Do you not care what you look like?
You are protein shakes with poisoned nuts in them, and you're jerking off your brother on the yacht.
Well, and you're... But, like, then you're...
Or no, sorry, you're getting jerked off by your brother on the yacht.
Ooh, spoiler, maybe. Probably not by now.
Not by now. We were super late.
If you're going to watch it, you're going to watch it.
The White Lotus.
But... It's not just that, like... You're going to be mean to me because I don't also do that. So, like, you need to find someone who's also eating that way to like... And you can just both be protein shake pals.
Yeah.
But, like, the guy on the left, he doesn't care. You want to go out for margaritas? Great. You want to eat a healthy lunch? Great.
Someone else noted, quote, a funny aside to the lonely male thing is the subset of men who point blank refuse to listen to women's opinions on what women find attractive.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
That is a super hilarious thing to be on the internet. That whole, like, the male loneliness epidemic.
But, like, what is that?
I'm not positive what the exact...
That, like, men are so lonely?
Let's look it up. Let's see what Google tells me. It'll probably be on Urban Dictionary.
It'll be on Google AI, I'll tell you.
Male loneliness epidemic. The term male loneliness epidemic suggests a concerning rise in loneliness among men, potentially due to factors like societal expectations, difficulties in forming and maintaining close relationships, and the pressure to conform to traditional masculine values. That's definitely not who's complaining about any of that. Well, it could be. Because the whole male loneliness epidemic is oddly a two-way street. So, studies have shown a rise in the number of men reporting loneliness and a decline in close friendships. For example, one study found that 15% of men report having no close friends, a 5-fold increase since 1990.
But then, like, is it because of what's causing that?
Societal expectations. Traditional masculine ideals often discourage emotional vulnerability and the formation of deep connections, which can hinder men's ability to cope with loneliness.
But isn't that, like...
Loneliness is linked to negative mental health outcomes, including increased risks of depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation.
Well, sure, that all makes sense. But is it... I thought, like, the current view for men is that, like, you don't have to be that way anymore.
Loneliness has also been associated with increased risks of physical health problems like cardiovascular disease, stroke, and dementia.
Well, it's the same... Yeah, that makes sense.
Some argue that the male loneliness epidemic may be a result of men's struggles with emotional maturity and social skills, rather than solely a lack of romantic partners or close friendships. So whenever I see it being made fun of, it is always in terms of a relationship. It's rare that I see it made fun of in terms of like a friendship thing.
But it has to do with like your emotional IQ. You lack the emotional skills.
Because I'll say on here, like, by no means would I put myself in that category, and would I say that I'm lonely. But I do find it so strange, at least in my perspective, because we joked, to go back to White Lotus, we joked when it was Carrie Coon and them having conversations, and then one would leave.
Oh,
and the others were just talking shit. Where I jokingly asked, like, is this what female relationships are like? Like, is this what all female friendships are like? You're super friendly to each other, and then when one of you leaves the room, you just immediately start talking shit on her. And then when she comes back, it's like nothing ever happened.
Right. Pretty much, but not quite as extreme as that.
But I find it, and I know it is not, like... I don't know how to describe it. Because I don't think I would say that I have any close friends. I don't think I would. Because there's no one I consistently, like, even talk to.
Well, right.
Not like, I don't see anyone. There's not even someone who, like, there's a conversation happening every now and then. Because it's not. But I wouldn't, like, put myself in, like, this is a real problem. Like...
Well... Oh, but, like, is any man? Or is it sort of like the internet is saying this is what it is?
What do you mean?
Like, are there men going to see a therapist or going, like, complaining to someone somehow about, like, the male loneliness? Or is this something that, like, the internet is sort of saying exists without, like, real people really...
You know, the male loneliness thing is complaints from people on the internet. It's dudes on the internet. And like I said, when I mostly see it, it's these, like, incel guys talking about women. And it's usually, like, you get a lot of comments about, like, the... That's why I said it's twofold. You've either got the super masculine dudes or the super conservative dudes that say abhorrently dumb, anti-female shit. And then women are like, oh, there's a male loneliness epidemic. Can't imagine why. Because you're a fucking piece of shit.
Oh,
but then the
I
other
see.
side of it
right,
is
like
you've
no
got
one,
the dudes that are like... You've got the dudes that are trying, like, way too hard and, like, simping over girls on the internet.
Right.
And they're trying to hard to be like, well, I'm the nice guy. Like, you should be with me because I'm the nice guy. And it's like, well, we all know that you're not.
Right.
Because if you have to go on the internet and tell you how nice you are,
right,
you're
trying.
not the nice guy.
Right. Okay, I see.
It's like a double. There are two sides to the male loneliness
I was like
epidemic.
confused by like the loneliness.
But
word.
I just meant like in terms of the whole friendship aspect of it. Like, I don't know, and I can't like. I'm not observing. I'm not like David Attenborough observing men in the wild and going like, oh, well, it is just me. Other men do have friendships with other men. And, like, they go and do stuff, or they hang out, or they have a conversation. I don't know what's happening in the world with other men.
Probably not. It's probably all the same.
But I know, like, I don't do that.
Or, like, the friendships are a bit shallow.
Well, I never know, like, for me, I always question, like, because I don't drink coffee, I don't drink beer, I don't drink liquor, I don't smoke weed, I don't smoke cigarettes. Like, so it's not like, oh, we can go out somewhere and have a beer and have a conversation. And that's the end of it. Like, I always question, like, is that why? Is that part of it? Because, like, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. And it seems like everyone else does.
I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, but... And
that's the whole thing of, like, because there's so many times where I feel like in relationships I've had with other guys where I feel like I'm coming across as, like, the clingy boyfriend. When the reality is, and I've talked about this with my therapist in the past, where I'm like, the reality is, it would be nice to see someone, like, once a month to just hang out and have a conversation with, who, no offense to you, isn't my wife or my mother or my co-worker who's my brother and my dad or my kids. Like, it would just be nice to see somebody else, like, once a month and not in my own home. Like...
Yeah, I get it.
But then... And I kind of, like, part of me... That's the whole thing of, like, I don't... It did bother me for a while, but now I'm just kind of at the point of, like, everyone in our circle, everyone has kids.
Don't you dare land on me.
Like, legit, it's just going off the light. Everyone's got kids. We're all around the same age with the kids, going through the same problems.
Yeah.
Everyone's got full-time jobs. And then the people that fall into, like, the next outer circle are people that are more like, that's where it gets separated between, like, your friends and my friends. Like, the inner circle is all the married couples that we know.
Yeah.
That we're friends with both of them. But then, like, when you fall into that second layer circle, that's the circle of everyone I talk to, where it's like, hey, do you want to hang out this weekend? And it's like a Monday. And somehow every weekend it's, oh, I'm busy. I have this going on. I have that going on. And it's like, okay. And then eventually I just stop asking.
Just give up. Like, all right, thanks. See ya. Thanks, but...
Well, I've struggled with that my entire life. Because the struggle internally for me is always just like, if you don't want to hang out with me, just say you don't want to hang out with me. Because this feels too coincidental that every time I text you, oh, I'm super busy this weekend, jam packed, full schedule, can't.
You never know.
Can't do
it. Could be, and it could be not. It could be just.
And then when I finally when it finally boils over, and I'm like, if you don't want to hang out with me, just say it. Like, tell me so I can stop wasting my time doing this. And then, oh, that's not it. That's not it. It's this. It's that. Oh, it's not. That's not it. That's not it. It's not you. And I'm like,
I don't know.
Because when I started going to therapy again, that was my intent, was to discuss that. But then, right before I started it again, I'm like, no, I don't really need to talk about it. Because with my first therapist, it was more of a self-esteem issue. But then the more I thought about it, and my brain has always been like this, where I have like a weird, it's not bipolar, but like I have two parallel thought patterns. And one has always been, it's me. I am a piece of shit. And the other one has always been the polar opposite. And I've now, like, come to accept, and this sounds super arrogant, but, like, I've come to accept and realize for myself that, like, no matter what anyone's gonna ever tell me, in terms of a friend, I'm probably one of the best friends you could ever have. In terms of a relationship, I am probably, historically, I like to think, I was one of the best boyfriends someone could have.
Clearly, I married one.
I think I'm one of the better husbands that you could have. Like,
yeah.
I tend to, and that's what I understood.
Well, it's hard. It's so hard to compare. Like, what I came to understand about myself was, I put and whether it's, to sometimes the positive to many times the negative, I put everyone else before myself. Yeah, you gotta find like more of a middle.
I put everyone else before myself. But my issue kind of was, and I kind of saw this as like, this is part of the problem, but then it's also like, it is part of it, but it's also not, I think, an excuse that people should really be using. Was in my mind, I'm like, I think my issue is, I'm holding everyone else to the standard of who I am, and that's why everyone falls short. Because like one of my biggest gripes is like, I text someone, and they don't text me back either a day, 2 days, or at all. And I'm like, it's 2025. Like,
yeah.
You can't fucking respond to a text message? Come on. Or I send you memes on Instagram? Nothing. Something on TikTok? Nothing. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. We're all around 30 years old. It's 2025.
Well, you're right.
Miss me with that bullshit of like, oh, I prefer
little kids.
I prefer phone calls. No, you fucking don't. And even if you do, you can respond to a text message. There's no excuse for you to not even put like an okay.
Unless it's like you're texting someone who has like young kids, where it's like you could see it and be like, oh, I'll text back, and then you forget. Like that is one of the like.
But my whole point of like. But my whole point is, when it comes to that, because I've heard that a lot, I don't open it and read it. I leave it so the notification is there, number one. Number two, even if you open it and read it, it's
going to look like there's a ghost.
It is, once again, to keep repeating it, it's 2025. You are on your phone enough that I know you have opened that messaging app to see that I texted you. Like, you can see the last message was from me. And like I said, at the end of the day, I don't care.
Tons and tons of text messages.
At the end of the day, I don't care if I ask you a question, I don't care if you don't even answer it. Just acknowledge that you saw it. Because I'm also aware, there's a lot of times texts don't send.
Yeah.
Or phone, or missed calls, there's no service, whatever nonsense. Yeah. So like, just acknowledge that you received a message from me. A thumbs up emoji. Literally, anything. To just acknowledge, like, I saw this. Did I read it? I don't know. But I saw it.
It's getting windy out.
And I'm just like, I don't get it.
I don't know. All my friends are married with kids my kids' age, so...
Yeah.
I'll see you in 18 years. 13, I guess.
We see each other often enough.
Yeah.
People that we know and hang out with.
Yeah.
Frequently. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't understand it.
I never really heard that whole, like, male loneliness thing.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But I don't know. I don't know where it would have come up. You follow different things than I do online, so I don't know.
Well, I usually see it in memes. It'll be like memes that women put up. Like I said, when I'm normally seeing it online, it is not the friendship side of it.
Right,
It's the dating side of it.
And I don't often...
And it's dudes being super cringy, and then women are like, oh yeah, there's a real loneliness problem among men. I can't imagine why.
Right.
Like, probably because you're in these comments telling me as a woman...
Right, like...
what I'm doing wrong in this scenario,
or, like, you
this
can't possibly find...
I
was
getting fed a lot of, like, weird gym-related things on TikTok or on Instagram for a while. I think because I follow Rhea Ripley. I don't know. But, like, I was getting,
or you commented on something
it was, like, ladies in the gym, and there's tons of dudes, like...
Or were they...
why do you act like this at the gym? And, like, gym bros are the fucking worst.
Yes.
There's a lot of gym girls then replying of, like, this is why men are lonely. Because you say shit like this on the internet, and whether you mean it in real life or not, this is what you're saying on the internet.
Right.
Or the video of there's like, I don't know what it was. I've gotten it twice. It's some weird dating thing where these two people went on a blind date, and they're at the show afterwards on a stage. And the question is...
Should we just...
I'll put it a little bit.
There you go.
So it's not as... I have it all the way open. It's like, would you go on a second date with him? And she goes, can I ask one more question first? And the host is like, yeah. And she goes, who did you vote for? So it's like, the clip is fresh. And he, like, the whole audience, like, they lose their minds. He looks out into the audience, makes a face, and I'm like... I can tell from every part of your body language what is going through your head right now. And he starts like, and he like is stammering through it. I'm like, you are trying so hard in your head of like, do I lie or do I tell the truth? And he stammers and stumbles into finally like, well, I voted for Donald Trump. And then the audience goes wild again. And he's like, well, I didn't, and he like, his justification was like, he didn't vote for him, he voted for his cabinet. And the girl's like, you voted for his cabinet? Oh, I like, just...
But how would you know? He didn't name any of those people until afterwards.
We had a lot of like, it could be this person, it could be that person. You never know. But I forget like what else he does. And then she makes the comment of like, I had a really fun time. You were a super nice guy, but like I have to stand with my morals and my beliefs. And then it cuts to him, and he fucking like rolls his eyes.
And that tells you everything you need to know.
And then she's like, "So I'm out," and then gets up and leaves. And he's just like, "Oh wow, what a twist!" And then like the host says like, "Did you expect that to happen?" And he's like, "Well, I expected it to come up." Like I forget what bullshit he says. And I'm like, I commented on it the first time I saw it. And I'm like, bro, you clearly contemplated hard as you stuttered and stammered into the answer whether or not you were going to lie about it. Then you tried to make excuses for it. And then when she told you why she wasn't into it, you rolled your eyes harder than I've ever seen anyone roll their eyes before.
Right. Which means that you don't...
I'm like, you're not the hero you think you are in this video. Especially when, like... Rolling your eyes at things is one thing. Especially when you're in a dating scenario as a straight person, and a woman says to you, because of my morals and beliefs, and your response is like, oh god. Here we go. Like,
how dare you fall back on... Because, like, the problem is, like, your politics don't necessarily matter. But the problem currently is that certain politics... then also kind of
the problem
dictate how you view like family life and relationships.
Well, the problem currently, when you look at it from an aspect of blind dates and people dating in a straight relationship like that, is Donald Trump and people who vote for him and his administration. There's a lot of things they do that are very anti-women and anti-women's rights.
Right.
So then you openly be like, oh, well, I voted for him, but, like, whatever, like, well...
Right.
And people don't get it. We've had this conversation a whole bunch of times. My parents don't get it. People we know don't get it. Of, like... I don't understand why gay people are so upset. Because you supported someone who's very, like, anti-gay people and anti-gay rights.
Then the big thing is, like, are you really going to
I don't get why women are so upset. Again, because, like, you're supporting a guy who hates everyone. And then you're like, oh, well, I don't understand why people are upset about it. And it's like, what?
And then the new thing is, like, are you really going to let politics, like...
Yeah, ruin your friendships and divide your family and, like, this and that.
It doesn't necessarily have to, like, your friendships and whatever, but, like...
Well, there's a lot of now, which is kind of what is happening with me and especially my family, is the idea of, like, I'm not going to cut you off and stop talking to you, but, like, know in your heart, I've made this known. I make it known on Facebook when I share shit. Like, know in your heart, friend, family, whatever, if you voted for him and you voted for him again, and especially if you vote for him a third time, if he runs a third time, and, like, you've shown no regret, and when I bring up, like, this statement didn't make any sense, this isn't factual, like, these are lies, and here's the evidence as to why they're lies, and you make excuses around it and tell me that I'm still wrong, and you keep exhibiting the cult-like behavior that you're exhibiting because you're in a cult, know that, like, I've lost a little bit of respect for you, and I think you're a piece of shit. Or, I think you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that are in my life that I don't think you're a piece of shit, I just think you're stupid.
Or you haven't really thought
and you're
for yourself.
Stupid because you lack the ability to break away from what you've been told since childhood. And that's the whole thing of, like, I get a lot of pushback for my beliefs. But it's the big thing on the internet among more liberal people of, like, oh no, God forbid I think other people should be able to live their life.
Right.
And God forbid I give a shit about people that aren't just myself.
Like, I think for myself.
Well, that's a two-way street that gets muddy. Because conservatives also like, well, you lack the ability to think outside the box, because that's their whole thing. Conservatives tell you you don't have the ability to think away from the mainstream media, when reality is...
It's the opposite.
Well, if I was a conservative person, I'm telling you that. Because the reality is, my opinions are facts. So what I think, when I think outside the box, is now a fact. It's not an opinion.
But they're not thinking outside the box.
Because I did my own research.
They're not thinking for themselves in any way, shape, or form.
Because I did my own research. And what they mean by that is, I listened to Joe Rogan's podcast, or I watched Donald Trump speak for 5 minutes.
But, like,
RFK speech.
You're just following what someone else is telling you. Yeah. You're not thinking for yourself.
You're wrong if you watch CNN or even local news now, and you listen to them. But I'm right, because I watch the president and people involved with the president, or Joe Rogan.
There's plenty of things that liberals, like, I don't agree with all of it.
No.
Or, like, that seems a bit, like...
Well, that's the hilarious thing.
But, like, I don't think the other side doesn't do that.
Well, that's the hilarious thing of, like...
There's no dissent whatsoever.
Everything that's put out is you are either here...
all the way left.
Or you're here.
Yeah.
And the reality is, people are, like... very few people in reality are far to one side or far to the other side. If you're far to the other side, it's because you're in a cult. And you're a Donald Trump supporter, and there is zero leeway for anything else. And that's what people mean by, like, you're there. Because there is no... The scale is this, and you're over here. Like, this wall fell, and you're just over here. But the reality is, everyone else is kind of in here, and they're always, like, it depends on the issue, and, like, whatever, you're floating all over the place.
Like, you stay to your left or to your right, but, like, you are closer.
But at the end of the day, liberal people tend to be, like, I just give a shit about others.
Right.
And I don't understand why there's starving people, and I don't understand why there's so many poor people in America, when we've got billionaires that just continue to amass more money. And then you've got Trumpers that are like, well, they worked hard for it. Did they? They didn't, because their family had money.
Well,
and they just inherited all that money. And then you make laws that continue to make poor people poorer while you continue to bring in more money for yourself.
And then it's immediately like, we're not saying that like the billionaires don't work or that they don't work.
They don't.
But like they have a job and they are doing something. But like don't tell me that like they didn't come from nothing. This isn't like most of them. I'm sure there are self-made billionaires. Or
There's probably like 5.
But like
out of all of them.
That they started with something. Maybe they made it much, much more. Yeah. But like they started ahead.
Especially in modern times. Was there a time in history where there were billionaires that did come from nothing? Absolutely.
Right.
In 2025, fuck no. There's like 1 out of every 10.
And like, it's not to say that like it's not.
And not all billionaires are pieces of shit.
Right. And it's not to say that it's not impressive.
Most billionaires are pieces of shit.
Like, yes, it's impressive that you founded a company.
Yeah.
Or you started a something.
Well, it's the whole thing.
A line of something, and you made a lot of money. Yes, it's
the
impressive.
Whole thing. Because I am one of the people that are of the belief that like billionaires shouldn't exist.
No, you don't.
You don't need that much money.
No, you don't need that much.
And you don't need to play this whole game like Musk did, where it's this whole bullshit of you're not using your money. Everything you buy is bought on collateral. Like when he bought X, he used Tesla as collateral.
Well, he had to pay, but like he used.
But not really. You just use you almost like mortgage whatever else. You take out a loan against your other thing, and you're never using your own money. It's just all through like investments and other bullshit. You're never using money out of your own pocket. And it was the same nonsense just now where he sold X to his other company.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
It's just all nonsense. But it's the same thing of like you see people all the time that have done studies where it's like, if this man paid Bill Gates, Elon Musk, whoever it is, if a quarter of what you make a month went to like distributed to everyone else in this country, nobody would be poor anymore.
Right,
and it would be a literal drop in the ocean for your finances. You would lose virtually no money. But you refuse to do that.
Well, that's unheard of. That's my money.
And that's why we are where we are now. You've got people that are of the age that were taught by Ronald Reagan, like, trickle-down economics works. It doesn't. It never did. But we're not going to admit that.
Where's the money trickling down? Like, it's not... nothing is going down.
Well, it starts here and it stops here. And there's, like, pennies that are falling down on people from, like, up here. But this is all the lower it goes.
Yeah, it doesn't... It's not really...
But... what are you going to do?
Good old Ronnie.
Well, I have one more thing, but it also was time permitting, so we'll do that next week.
I'm scared it's going to start thundering. And
What's raining?
We're going to lose power.
I don't think we're going to lose power, but we should probably get the windows closed up. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on social media at The Friends You Keep. Check out our YouTube channel if you're listening to this. Check out podcasts if you're watching it. Like and subscribe if you're watching. Comment, share it if you're listening. Rate, review, comment if you can. I think that's like an Apple and a Spotify thing. I don't know if they all have that.
Yeah, Amazon doesn't, I think.
I know Amazon doesn't. I'm pretty sure I heard like it's Spotify has it and Apple might have it, I think. But whatever. Comment on it, share it, tell your friends, tell your family. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. If you can't hear the thunder, it's coming. We love you, and as always, thank you for being a friend.